भैया ट्रिपल आईटी चलोगे?
जी कैसे जाना है?
बस गोविंदपुरी से लेफ्ट। Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Govindpuri से लेफ्ट सीज़न 2। हमें पता है हम इस सीज़न काफ़ी स्टूडेंट फॉरवर्ड रहे हैं, पर इस एपिसोड में लेट्स टॉक टू समवन हु यूनाइट्स स्टूडेंट्स अंडर अ कॉमन कॉज, पढ़ाई, or at least he tries his best to.
So without any other delays, let's introduce all of you to Professor Pankaj Vajpayee, a professor known for his course Foundations of Finance.
He also is the Dean of Corporate Relations and Entrepreneurship and the President of the Institute Innovation Council. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
We are also very excited.
So, before we begin, we would like to ask you the most important question that a lot of people have on their minds. What exactly curtails the responsibility of a professor in IIIT Delhi? Between managing courses and so many other responsibilities, what is your commitment to the student body here?
I think nothing curtails it, no? It's pretty good. And the institute is pretty open that way, okay? And it is only up to the students and the faculty to take advantage of the thing. See, I've been associated with close to 30 institutes in my career, if you look at it, different places. So it's a pretty open system here. The people are fairly cooperative, and the office and the other staff people are very approachable. Somehow we don't approach them. All the faculty is also very approachable. I haven't had any problem so far, okay? Just walk into anybody's room without any appointment. Most of the times you'll be able to talk. In case they are tied up, you can always approach them again. Yes. And the staff is very helpful, okay? In most of the institutes I have been to, there's hardly any chance that you will end up seeing a controller of finance or a general manager or a registrar for that matter, or even the director. Okay, yes, in my 4 years at IIIT Delhi, I don't remember even interacting with my director even once. Oh. Okay, so the students here can approach him anytime, is fairly approachable. So the system is fairly open.
Yeah, I mean, so you're here, मतलब आप यहाँ पे हैं, हम आपको approach के, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so ये थोड़ा सा outdated question हो सकता है सर, पर
please.
फिर भी kind of relevant है. आपने पैंडेमिक में बच्चों को कैसे पढ़ाने का अप्रोच लिया, और आपके लिए कुछ ऐसे मेमोरेबल था इन दैट टाइम या कुछ यूनिक चैलेंज? ऑब्वियसली एक तो होता ही है कि अब मीडियम ही शिफ्ट हो गया, बट बियॉन्ड दैट
या मीडियम शिफ्टेड डेफिनेटली, बट द अदर थिंग व्हिच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इज दैट एवरीबडी वाज गोइंग थ्रू, इंक्लूडिंग मी एंड माय एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली, एवरीबडी वाज गोइंग थ्रू ट्रॉमेटिक टाइम्स,
राइट सर?
ओके, सो इट इज नॉट नेसेसरली दैट द flow of knowledge may happen, but yeah, maybe everybody tried reasonably whatever they could. Obviously a new medium is there, and it will have its own repercussions, and people had their own limitations, so that is there, okay? But yeah, we could do something, whatever best we could do. Institute was fairly supportive. Your previous dean was fairly proactive, okay? Pushpendra did a lot of things around it. The system worked fairly well, so it was pretty well organized, let me say, and we started out pretty straight away. In fact, when the COVID was declared, it just took us 3-4 days to just shift to the online mode, and we could do it. Obviously there were limitations, but that is okay. You have to live with it, no? So any new medium will have its limitations.
That brings us to the next question. Why did you choose the field that you chose, and like why be a professor, and why in this field specifically?
Okay, so maybe you'll have to go back slightly more.
Yes.
Okay, so I started off with my engineering and did my MBA, and I spent some 30 years in investment banking. Okay, and I've been associated as a visiting faculty across 25 to 30 management institutes across India. Okay, yes, whether it is IIMs, IFT, MDI, you name it. Okay, so I've been there, and also been teaching in schools for the last 20 odd years. Okay, there are a lot of students whom I actually taught in school in 5th and 6th and all, they came here and I taught them here also. Okay, so that's okay. So I like teaching. Okay, so that's why I got into it. Okay, there is nothing, and I've been in the industry, and this professor of practice thing came up last year, and that is the time when the director and other people approached me and they said, if you are keen, maybe apply, and then you'll have to go through the process, and let's see if it is okay. So I thought maybe now probably I'll start devoting more full time on it rather than part time, no?
Yes, sir.
So that is how I got
सर
it.
आप अभी भी किसी स्कूल में अभी affiliated हैं या फिर
नहीं,
सिर्फ
2021 के
IIT?
बाद मैंने सब बंद कर दिया.
So-
वो I go occasionally now as a guest, because as a full time I cannot.
Yes, sir.
Okay, as long as I was part time, I was at MDI, IFT and other places and all, that was okay, IIMs, but now no.
Okay.
Last August 22 onwards, no. No, you're not supposed to.
Yes,
It's
sir,
as
yes,
simple
sir.
as that, no?
Yes,
You
sir.
shouldn't be doing it. I can do it, but I don't do it,
Yes,
okay?
yes, sir.
That's okay.
Okay, so, sir, I just told the audience that you are the dean of the Corporate Relations and Entrepreneurship. I'm sure अभी जैसे आपसे आयुष ने पूछा कि सर एग्जैक्टली होता क्या है, हमारे लिसनर्स भी इतना श्योर नहीं है या उन्हें
Yeah, कोई भी
clarity
sure
नहीं
नहीं है. That's fine. So don't be so surprised about it, including myself.
तो
So
थोड़ा सा listeners
what
को-
happened is, see, this idea was propagated by our director, Professor Ranjan. Okay, in one of the faculty meetings, he suggested that he is thinking about this position, and this is as early as or as late as September this year, August, September.
Yes,
He
sir.
had said that he is thinking about it, and that we need to have corporate relations and entrepreneurship, because the idea in academic institute is corporate relations only means placements.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are essentially looking at something beyond placements. Okay, placements will happen, they keep happening, seasons come and go, so sometimes it will be good, sometimes it will be bad, but beyond it, how do we actually engage with the corporate world? Okay, so that was the idea. There are a lot of bright faculty members who are doing a lot of research. Some of them have filed patents, but somehow the industry doesn't know about it, or also they also don't know how to go to the industry as
Yes,
such.
yes.
So essentially the idea was to bridge that gap. Okay, and not everything can be done at a director level, because he himself has his limitations. So the idea was probably encourage that kind of a thing. And entrepreneurship, because the government has had a lot of emphasis on entrepreneurship since our last Prime Minister came in, since Mr. Modi came in around 2015-14 actually. He started this whole concept of a startup India, and AICT
Yes.
came up with other things. So this startup thing we have 2 Section 8 companies, 3 actually now on campus. So we have an incubation center, we have an iHub, and we also have this Electropreneur Park, okay, which is some on and off right now, not fully. So the idea was to actually put all these things together and also put it to the institute, to the students. Because the institute actually exists for the students. If the students do not know what is happening in the ecosystem, they'll have a problem. And so the idea is basically come up with it, and then he proposed this thing to the board, and board agreed. Okay, and then obviously there was some internal deliberations happened. He had a wide-ranging discussions among a lot of people, and then they asked me if you are keen to do that. Okay, and I said I would be happy. Okay, so that is how it happened.
Yes, sir.
And so just maybe a month now. Okay.
So you said there are 3 Section 8 companies, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of student bodies which are very much enthusiastic about the entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
How does your position tie up with all of the student bodies mainly?
In the student bodies right now, we have an e-cell. Okay, that is
Yes.
one body. Okay, not many people are aware, or it is one because it doesn't come straight away right now under the student affairs.
Yes.
Okay, so we are just trying to put everything together. The e-cell also now starts reporting to the student affairs. So everybody is probably aware of that there are more activities happening. And they do a commendable job, okay, depending on whatever their limitations have been, and they haven't got too much institute support so far. So, but they have done a decent job. But I just want other people also to get involved. Like, for example, you have SciFuse, your hackathon, they arrange it. So everything can be done together, okay, because it's the same institute.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you have some students who have actually also started doing some kind of undergraduate research club, which has actually come up.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it's a new
So
one.
yeah, so we're talking to them, and they would be actively helping us to organize RISE this year, because it is a student-led affair, okay, and I want it to be a student initiative. Okay, so you should know what is happening, and then you are going to project it to the world. Another thing which I probably would like to look at, and I need a lot of student support for that. See, when you are looking at corporate relations, the idea is how do we project ourselves out to the outside world. Okay, and now if we have already something like 3,000 odd alumni, and the 3,000 odd students on campus. All these campuses, parents are reasonably well placed, are at different places. Those are the low hanging fruits. Okay, I think we should approach them straight away.
Yes.
Okay, and we have not been able to do that in a meaningful way. Okay, that is one thing we can straight away start off with. I would also like the students to actually set up your alumni chapters, because the institute is as good as their alumni is, and that is where the perception will go. See, all these IITs, IIMs, Harvards, or the MITs, they have chapters all across the world. Okay, so IIT would have a San Francisco chapter, they would have a New York chapter, we could have, say, maybe to start off with, a Bangalore chapter, a Hyderabad chapter, something. You have now enough students outside also, so you could have a London chapter. There are some students are coming to me maybe next week. I'll ask them to do that. They are visiting from London. Okay, you can have a San Francisco or a Bay Area chapter, something like that. So if you start thinking along those lines, you will see that automatically relationships will start building over a period of time. Okay, it's a new institute. Our alumni is hardly 10, 12 years old. So they are not reached that level right now. Okay, but at least they are enthusiastic. And when time is on your side, you can actually build a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. And I think with regards to the perception of this college for the outside world, our next question is, what is the role of the Institute Innovation Council in our college?
Okay, so Institute Innovation Council as such, as it is envisaged by the ministry as such, okay, the idea is essentially to promote entrepreneurial activities.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is one. And also promote the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Now, entrepreneurial ecosystem or innovation, if you ask me, is not necessarily only limited to having an entrepreneurship or having a startup. Innovation could be in any activity. Okay, you are doing a process, you want to improve it. Okay, something can be done in 5 minutes, you probably do it in 3 minutes. Okay, something, maybe procedures, processes, anything which can be improved on, that would be innovation. So not every innovation needs to be necessarily monetized. Okay, it is not needed. Okay, yes, so the idea is to basically promote that kind of a thing. So I am, since I haven't had time and we were quite busy and the students got busy with their end sem, we are planning to have something like a caseathon or something prior to a hackathon. Okay, so caseathon would be something where you come up with ideas how the process can be improved, even if you have no idea how it has to be done. Okay, so you just give an idea what needs to be done, and maybe somebody then picks up that idea and then uses the technology or anything to improve that. Okay, so that is the idea. I do not know कि उसका solution क्या है, but I know कि मेरे को पता ये problem है. Okay, मेरे को उसको solve करना है. मेरे को नहीं पता कौन करेगा. Maybe somebody may get an idea and then solve it and put things together, and that is how entrepreneurship gets triggered off, no? So that is the thing. Another thing that I would be looking at the student help is essentially promoting the institute in their schools and colleges. Okay, like for example, all of you come from different schools and colleges, and it's easy for one student to go back to his alma mater.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you can ask the students to visit here. You can have some kind of a visit by your school students to the campus. The principals can come in. Automatically that will happen. You're sitting in Delhi, and if you can't project yourself, then nobody else will know.
I mean, a lot of fests actually do that. SIA mein we have a lot of incentives for school students कि अगर उनको IIIT में आना है, they'll get a bonus point if they win in our competitions. So definitely we are.
Those things are okay, but maybe just get them in, no? That's it. Like visit कराओ उनकी, weekend पे visit कराओ. Like for example, we had the students coming. We had this tribal youth festival recently.
Yes.
A lot of students actually volunteered, and it's a very good template now we have. Okay, we have volunteers. So they take them around campuses, 200, 300 people at a time. You spend 2 hours, 3 hours on campus and go.
Right.
Okay, now
like
that is a good template, and then you can use it here, no? Okay.
Yes,
and you do it, there are 500 schools in Delhi, 1,000 odd government schools. If you keep doing it, you will not even run one round in 4 years time. No?
Yes, sir.
सर आप अभी IIT बोले कि आप IIT में पढ़ते थे, तो थोड़ा आप अपने कॉलेज के एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में बताइए. आपने कभी सोचा था कि आप इस रूट जाएंगे इंजीनियरिंग के बाद, या आपके पर्सनल क्या थे?
Okay. कोई नहीं सोचता, और कोई अगर बोले कि मैं ऐसा सोचता, and if I was studying and somebody would have, even when I was in investment banking and somebody would have told me कि तुम पढ़ाओगे, तो I would have probably bashed them up, and probably that is not something that he started off with. But that is okay. That is how life is. I got in my investment banking journey, I got invited to a college once to deliver a talk on what is investment banking, and the students liked it, and then the dean there told me, why don't you take a course with us in the evening whenever you are free? So I said 8 o'clock. I said okay. So 8 to 10 or 8 to 11 is the time when I used to teach there. Okay, so I liked it, and that is how the thing developed. I never left the job. I just carried on.
All right, so I think that brings us to our final question. You've had a lot of good to say about IIIT, and you've taught at various IIMs, IIFTs, MDIs, and other brilliant specialization schools, right, that are for finance. What convinced you to join the SH department of IIIT Delhi?
देखो जब मैंने ज्वाइन किया था तब तो ऐसे डिपार्टमेंट था ही नहीं यहाँ पर. There were used to be just 2 finance courses, and when Professor Jalote was the director at that point of time, and that was it. And he said we are looking at somebody to teach. And how it happened is that one of my students at IFT, okay, I taught him somewhere in 2007-8. He was a working executive, and his daughter got an admission here. Okay, I didn't know even it existed, IIIT, let me be honest. Okay,
Right.
So he told me, okay, so he said my daughter is here, and I taught his daughter also, okay, in one of the schools earlier.
Right.
Okay, so that is how it was. Okay, so that, and he said, and they don't have anybody in finance, see if you want to. So I wrote a mail to Professor Jalote, and I was anyway teaching at a lot of places. So nothing happened for some period of time. Then one fine day, maybe many months later, Shitu used to be there. Shitu was our manager at that point of time, academic manager. She called me up and said, Professor Jalote probably wants to meet you. So I met him.
Yeah.
And he said, हमारे यहाँ भी पढ़ा दो. ठीक है, that's fine. So we'll teach here also. Of course, no. That's okay.
Right. All right, so thank you so much. This is the end of our
questionnaire.
Yes.
Okay.
And now we have this section जो हम सबके साथ करते हैं, which is a rapid fire section.
Okay.
So basically we give you one sentence or a word, and you have to just say the first thing that comes to your
Okay.
mind. Okay.
Any opinions you could have, any experience, anything you want to
Anything
say?
that comes to your mind, you can
Just
share.
off the top.
Okay, I'll try.
Yes, sir.
Let's see.
So I'll start with the first one. Plagiarism policies of your courses.
There is no policy practically. So if you ask me, because most of the things that I give are essentially based on a lot of public information which is available, which the students actually have to collate.
Right.
Okay, and so that is it. And so I have now told them this time around that you do the thing, and also you ask ChatGPT to answer your same question and put both the things, give me both the answers, so you'll automatically check. Okay, so that will happen. Yeah.
All right. And that's something. Okay. Next question. In entrepreneurship amongst young engineers.
See, what has happened, if you actually look at it, engineers are the problem solvers. Okay, that will happen. So that is a natural inclination they'll get in. What happened in the last 15-20 years, actually what has happened is, because a lot of loose money got printed in the United States and the developed world, and a lot of that found way into our country also. So somehow people felt that if I can just make a presentation and have a 10-minute thing,
Right.
and I'll get the money. Okay, so getting money is not entrepreneurship. That is something which is actually, the thing has deteriorated too. Okay, you have to ask me honestly.
Yes.
Okay, so entrepreneurship is a difficult thing, and money making is not so easy, and it is not glamorized at all.
Yeah.
Okay, these Shark Tanks and all are hardly doing anything except increasing the popularity. Everybody has started using some standard terms that is there. But entrepreneurship is a lonely journey. Okay, it will take you a long time before you will start getting celebrated. No?
Yes.
You will not have instant celebration. No? It is not a pop show.
Yeah.
Next question is impact of college life in any individual's life.
See, college is the first time, especially the undergrad, is the first time when you experience life as a young adult.
Yes.
Okay, now you are on your own, no longer bound by what your parents or other people told you. Most of your personality and your thoughts and other things will happen with what your peers will tell you.
Right.
Okay, and your friends, and maybe you'll make friends for life. Okay, and that is the time, and college will have a huge impact. Okay, whichever way it is, will have a huge impact in life. Obviously, other things will happen as you move in life. Other things will happen. You'll have more partners. You'll have more friends. Okay, you'll have spouses, kids. Other things will happen. But some friendships which you'll form here, at least some of them will remain. And because that was the time when you formed relationships without expectations.
Yes.
And so that is a very important thing. Okay, and you are not going to judge anybody. Okay, so today also when I meet my graduate friends, some of them are millionaires, a few of them are now even billionaires, some of them are not doing so well, but it doesn't really matter. Okay,
Right.
It doesn't really matter. It's probably the same thing. We are not there to talk about achievements at all.
Yeah.
That's very nice actually. Considering we all are in our 4th year, it is something that's really nice.
Yeah, you'll remember it probably 25 years later.
Yeah.
No, so when I'm probably not there, maybe you'll probably play this podcast. That thing, okay.
This is our own diary.
Yeah.
Okay, so impact that you have on your students' life.
So maybe I'm the wrong person. No? The students will have to answer that.
That concludes our rapid fire round.
Okay. Early rapid fire, I kept talking.
No, we're very grateful for your insights. So it means a lot to us, and especially for all the viewers who definitely are joining in to hear you and
Listeners now. There are no
Viewers
viewers.
नहीं हैं.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, listeners.
So that's okay. Teacher की आदत है ना गलती निकालने की.
And so genuinely आपसे बात करके इतना अच्छा लगा है. I'm sure हमारे listeners भी बहुत ही ऐसा लगा ही नहीं हम प्रोफेसर से बात कर रहे हैं.
Okay.
So I
So
think
you can
that's a
take it
very-
both ways, no?
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time,
Right,
sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
bye-bye.
you, sir.
Yeah.